Your air compressor is a true workhorse tool, so get one that delivers industrial performance with increased durability, less noise, and faster recovery. Get an industrial-grade air compressor from Makita. Makita compressors are powered by a 4-pole induction motor with direct drive for improved power and longer operating speed. Lower RPM means less noise and easier startups. The large cast iron cylinder pumps feature Makita's exclusive big bore cylinder and piston with heavy-duty crankshafts, so your compressor gets faster recovery and increased productivity. Pro contractors require industrial-grade compressors for top job site performance. Makita industrial-grade compressors deliver proven durability, less noise, and faster recovery.
Noticed is that when you want to fold down this, I don't know, I call it the handlebars, I guess that's not the right term. Handle, let's go with that one. When you want to fold down the handle, all you do is pull on these little levers. There's one on each side, and once they've been pushed out of the way, well, this thing just folds down like such. Alright, now my first impressions of this unit are that I'm very, very pleased with its high level of fit and finish. These things here appear to be cast iron. They appear to be very nicely casted and ground to fit, and they turn smoothly. Also, when you look at the welds, I mean, we all know the production welds on a lot of things really aren't that great, but these look really nice. There's the air tank. I guess those should pretty much always be good, but you know, it's the little stuff like these hangers, which are presumably for an air hose, and the fact that this tubing doesn't have a flimsy feel to it whatsoever. You also have this cool little storage area up on top, you know, just if you want to put your quick connects or air nozzles or whatever in there. So that's pretty nice, and yeah, it just looks like a really solid unit. This is a beautiful color as always, and it really does seem to be very nicely put together. Now let's have a look at these manuals. You got your Spanish one here and your English one here. Now as I open this up and look through it, it does seem to be pretty well put together. I mean, it's easy to follow. It looks like it was written by someone that speaks fluent English, which is nice. And it tells you all about everything you would ever want to know. No, I got it dirty. Alright, so I just went ahead and read up on the break-in procedure, and they basically say just dump some oil in it and run it for a minimum of 20 minutes. Yeah, that's what it was, 20 minutes in a no-load condition. Alright, so we now have oil, and I guess I'm just going to go ahead and open up the drain on this tank, and I'll just pop a quick connect thing in here, and we'll just let it run. Alright, let's see what happens. We're already getting a stream of air, YouTube. Alright, so we got it running. Is it loud, YouTube? Yeah, it's pretty loud. I mean, even as far as air compressors go. Now, one of the reasons I decided to go ahead and get an an oil-lubricated air compressor wasn't just for the longer service life, but rather for the lower volume. It is quieter than most oil-free air compressors I've used, but it's still making some noise. Alright. Guess there's really no reason to drain that. So, I have let this thing run for 30 solid minutes. The manual recommended 20, but you know, a little bit of extra probably never hurt anything. And yeah, so it seems to have not exploded and killed me or anything, so that's a good sign. No, I'm not too worried about that. I will say that this thing runs very smooth, and I can't hear anything that shouldn't be there. It's not making any kind of weird rattling noises, no grinding or nothing. But it is, like I said, pretty loud for being an oil-lubed compressor. But on that note, it should be good and broken in now. So what I'm going to do is let it sit here and cool down for a little bit after that half-hour-long marathon, you know, especially because it's brand new and all. And also because the manual says this thing only has a 50% duty cycle. So yeah, I'll give it a little while to cool down, and then we'll try it out. Alright YouTube, I guess it's time to find out how she runs the plasma cutter. So I guess I'll just fire it up and let it fill itself up with air. That was pretty quick. Alright YouTube, so now I'm all suited up in this nice PSX flame resistant cotton jacket. I got the air compressor fully charged up, and I'm just going to come over here and crank up the good old Power Max 45. And we're going to try out some plasma cutting with this. As soon as I put in some earplugs, we're going to get to it. Alright YouTube, so I've been doing some plasma cutting, and this Makita compressor seems to be holding up really well. So yeah, pretty much what I went ahead and did is I made a 12-inch cut across the length of this piece of channel. Then I did the sides here, which are quite a bit thicker. And then I came over here and sliced sort of my channel's initials just into this piece of scrap metal for the heck of it. And I was doing this pretty much as quick as I could move the torch around, and the air compressor kept up. Needless to say, it does run pretty much constantly. You know, this tank is only, what is this thing, 5.2 gallons. That's a microscopic tank, but it's definitely putting out the air that the plasma cutter needs. Now, am I going to say a smaller compressor like this nice little Makita is ideal for running a 45 amp plasma cutter? No. Quite frankly, you know, when you have something like this and you have a smaller compressor like that, you can run it for a while, but if you're going to be cutting, you know, 4x8 plate down both sides all the way non-stop, you might have some issues. I can't really comment on how it does that, because obviously all I have here to work with is this little piece of channel at the moment. But I feel that this is a fair representation of my average plasma cutting needs. You know, that you guys that watch my videos know I do a lot of fabrication. So that's a cut this big here and a cut that big there, maybe one this big over here. And it's not all that fast paced, and I feel like for the time being, this plasma is going to serve me really well. What is ideal is, I don't know, like an 80 gallon 240 volt model. But those cost a lot of money, and after moving here and outfitting, after moving 21 hours away from home and outfitting a second shop, I'd rather not spend $1,500 on that right now. And actually, you know, when I was back in Ohio, I did have a 60 gallon vertical unit, and that would also run pretty much constantly, but it also kept this thing going through pretty much anything. And the downside of that is it's not portable at all. So for now, this thing seems to be serving my needs very well. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. It seems to be getting it done. And eventually, when I do get my big 80 gallon unit, I'm going to have a nice portable compressor because, well, you can't really move something that weighs like 500-600 pounds. So on that note, let's have a final look at this unit and wind down the video. Overall, I'm very, very impressed with this nice little Makita compressor. As mentioned, I do have a Makita angle grinder that served me really well, but I never even knew they made air compressors until I just happened to be at Home Depot. And yeah, like I said, I'm really happy with it. I feel like for the price you pay, you definitely get a lot of compressor. I feel like it's very well made. It clearly has a very high degree of fit and finish, and it performs very, very well for something that runs on 110 volt power. I also feel like it's really well designed. As mentioned, there's this system right here, which is great. It's easy, it's idiot proof, it's really well made. You got these things here, you can wrap the hose around. Even this for the power cord, this and this, you know, you just wrap it back and forth there. And well, that only goes so far, you know. Even though I really do like this unit, there are a couple things that could be improved. The first is that it is really loud. I mean, I know it's a smaller air compressor, and I want to say that motor is going like 3,200 revolutions a minute, if I remember what I saw in the manual correctly. So that's probably to an extent avoidable, but to be fair, it is a lot quieter than most, oil-free compressors I've used. The other thing I don't particularly care for is the fact that you have these two quick connects here, which is great if you're switching air hoses left and right and whatnot, but I like to simplify things and run my air hose directly into the regulator.
Howdy YouTube, Darlington Farm here. Well, while I'm over at the shop here, I thought I'd give you a little bit better view of the Makita MAC 2400. Last video I did of it was in the bed of my truck and kind of the crappy light. So I thought I'd kind of let you see a little bit better views of the compressor here. Once again, it is the MAC 2400. There you go. It is 4.2 gallon, you can read there, 4 cubic feet a minute at 90 psi. Nice big air filter over here, really like that. Relatively easy, obviously I can do this one-handed here, but nice big air filter there. Weird, I don't know how it's ended up with those pleats getting crunched, but yeah, it's nice, big, definitely looks like it does its job there. You've got your cooling fins on the pressure line coming out of the compressor there, which is really nice. You get very little water coming out of the drain on the back of the tanks over here. Right there, you get almost no water even after it's run all day. It's pretty impressive. 2 tanks there. I will say this sucker is heavy, but it's definitely a nicely constructed piece of equipment. I'm guessing, I think it weighs like 80 pounds, something like that. Oil-filled compressor right there. You've got your reset switch for the motor back in there should something go wrong with it. It comes empty. You do have to fill it up with oil and run it for 20 minutes with the valve open so it can break in the compressor. Go ahead and turn it on here for you. And you can see that it kind of sounds like a refrigerator running. It's really, pretty nice. You can stick this in a house, when you're trimming it, and just in the other room still use the telephone, and, it's not at all obnoxious. It's a lot quieter. I've got that 3-horse one back there, and it's a lot quieter than it. And yeah, I really like it. I'm really quite impressed. As you can see right there, it builds pressure pretty quick. Turn it off here. That little, at the end is about the loudest thing of the whole process. The regulator seems to work pretty well on it. It, holds pressure just like it should. Definitely no complaints with it. It does what it's supposed to do. Not really sure about longevity because I've not had it that long, but yeah, it's a great little compressor. I mean, it's nice and solid. Really happy with it. It's really just nice that it's so quiet, and it has no trouble keeping up with a sighting nailer when you're going through coils every 5 or 10 minutes, something like that. Just so it's pretty cool. Definitely quite happy with it. So anyway, I just thought I would again do another video there and kind of let you see a little bit more of the guts and kind of how it's all put together there. And yeah, really like it, really pleased. And yeah, once again, it's the Makita MAC 2400. And anyway, please comment, rate, and subscribe. And if you're interested, check out I forget. I'll put it on the homepage there, or the channel home. You can look at the Etsy store for the wood shop here, which is coming along nicely. I've been trying to clean out stuff over here and get my wood, or get as much wood planed as I can and racked, because I've got probably 1,500, 2,000 board feet coming in next week. So anyway, yeah. Once again, I'm Darlington Farm. Thank you for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe.